here to volunteer.
Hi, my name's Nikki. I'm the volunteer coordinator. What we're going to have you do this morning is sign in on our volunteer log. You're going to sign in when you come in and when you leave, and the area that you're serving in, and we will get you right over. I know you're in the kitchen, so we'll get you right over to the kitchen. Okay. We have two kitchen managers, Edna and Callie. So depending on what day you volunteer, you'll be working with one of them.
Hi, I'm Callie, the kitchen manager, and I'm going to have you cut desserts and fill salt and pepper shakers and just get lunch ready.
Yeah. You could get like, how about the big one right there? This one? Yeah. Okay. Leave with the cake. So I'm gonna let you do this, and I'm gonna kind of watch you.
Okay.
So you can have fun at it, because it's fun working back here in the kitchen.
So are you a volunteer? Or do you work here?
I stay here.
Oh, okay. So are you here by yourself?
No, my husband's right out there.
Oh, okay.
We're just waiting for our housing to come up.
Okay.
I'll help you with your go with her.
Okay.
And do bread, and you can take these muffins out there and that,
Okay.
and they're gonna put those out there too.
They have the best food here, I tell you. That chicken is delicious.
How long have you been here?
I've been here 2 weeks a day, in fact. You know how it is. Sometimes we don't want to step out. The devil try to tell us that we're not worthy, that don't nobody care about us, but that's not true. They used to tell me when I was a kid, God love you. I said, don't nobody love me? They used to say, God love you. And I will always be grateful for the love he showed me. They say love changes things. Yeah.
There's a lot more suffering going on than people know. It's easy to be in Lincoln and not to see a very large segment of our population that are in either homeless or in poverty. There's a lot of working poor in Lincoln. We see that in our distribution center. A lot of people that are struggling to make it on the wages they're getting. People coming in out of shelters, just having a lot of crisis. And I think, well, it's not the majority of Lincoln. It's an increasing segment of the population here, and I think it's hidden from a lot of folks. I think you can go around Lincoln and think, there's not a big issue here, and actually there is. We have a lot of people here who are poor in shelters. It's a tough place to be.
Some people look at people that live in a shelter, like they're being lazy or whatever, but there's things that happen in your life that, you're either living in a shelter or on the streets, and it's better to be in a shelter,
You've got very, very loving Christians that work here. And I mean, if they weren't here to help me, I wouldn't be where I am. I've come a long ways to get back up on my feet.
Living on drugs and alcohol, and I didn't do that stuff no more, Then they hadn't stopped using, but Big Mama had. I said, then they didn't understand. Because Jesus is the answer to all your problems today.
The mission helps a wide variety of people, and some of the people they think of when they think of a homeless shelter, we have here. We have people that are alcoholics and looking for handouts, and they're here, but they're not the majority of the people. Last year we helped 17,000 people. This year we're going to help 25,000, about 10% of the city. And if you take the stats on that, about 30% or better are kids, and then of that number of adults, 80% have jobs. And so in the shelter here, we actually house homeless folks. More women, kids than there are men, and even some of the men we have have jobs and they're trying to get back on their feet. And so it is a wide population, but there are a lot of people here, just like the folks that are watching this film. They're people like you and I that fell in a bad situation, and really anybody in Lincoln could end up in a homeless shelter. One of the great, Jesus told a lot of parables. One of my favorites is the Good Samaritan. The question I always ask people was, who was the guy in the ditch? We talk about the Good Samaritan. He helped this guy. He gave him on bad times, and A couple religious leaders went by and he helped. Jesus tells the parable and says, go do likewise. But the question I have is, who was the guy in the ditch? We often think of him as a good person. I did growing up, a good guy, just came on bad times. But we don't know who he was. He could have been an axe murderer. He could have been a thief himself. They were just taking their money back. The point is, when the Good Samaritan came upon him, he didn't ask who he was, because it wasn't based on his worth, it was based on his need. And I think Christians are called to a higher level of giving, where we see people that have needs, where to reach out and extend God's grace to them, based on their need, not on their worth. It's easy to say, if you're worthy of me, I'll help you. It's harder to say, you have a need and I'm going to give God's love to you and grace, regardless of who you are. And I think that takes God in us to have that kind of a giving. And I think when Jesus said, go and do likewise, his challenge to the church is to give.